Well, hey there. Welcome to another episode, or actually the second episode of the Blank Pages podcast. I'm Tim Pecoraro, and I am your host, and I'm so glad you're going to be joining today. And today we're going to embark on a transformative journey. And I'm looking forward to this, about reflecting and resetting, right? The building blocks for achieving success. So in this session, we'll explore the vital role of self-reflection and continuous improvement in our path to success. We're going to cover how renewing our mindset and reviving our strategies can become powerful tools in the building of a successful future. So, hey, let's get ready to dive deep into the insights and practices that I believe are going to empower you to construct a foundation for an even more formidable and lasting achievement in your future. So let's get rolling. So I'm looking forward to this topic today, and this is just, it's an exciting one for me as we're about to roll into the new year, and I just want to guide some people in helping them to embrace reflecting and this whole idea of reflecting and resetting to create a more ambitious future, right? So today we're going to look into this whole idea of reflecting and resetting, right? We're going to look at big dreams, right? And then also, I want to give you a reflection exercise. So also a little housekeeping. I want to let you know that as I'm unfolding and unwinding this podcast, once again, this is blank pages for me because this is something I've been wanting to do. I've had some others in the works. I have so much content that I have and I put aside and different things. And I was like, it's not right. But this is the time. I feel like right now, this is the time and things are right. So, getting myself a little situated here. So I will be refining the podcast. It'll get sharper and cleaner, and all the things will make more sense as I put pieces together on ways I'll communicate and things I'm building and how I introduce them and so forth, so on. But one of the coolest things that I do want to say is this will be mixed. So you'll be able to find me on Apple Podcasts with this. You'll be able to find it on Spotify. You'll be able to find me on YouTube on their podcast channel, but we'll also be putting videos up and some other things. I have some great stuff coming around this idea of blank pages. And also the cool thing is when you tell your friends to search, tell them to do BL space NK, right? And that's all I have to do in podcasts or Spotify. I did that on purpose to take the letter out. So if they just spell it out, it's going to be hard to find. But if you remove it and you fill in the blank, you'll find it. So there you go. A little fun. The podcast, I'm going to try to release them every Tuesday. Hopefully, there'll be one. Every Tuesday. I don't know what time. My goal is to shoot for 5 a.m. East Coast time on the continental U.S. So, and once again, I'll be building up the content as I go with guests. And the other cool thing is I will also do some things where we'll have the video and we'll have guests. And so it'll be mixed. I'll have people that'll be in a live room with me as well as people online. So some cool stuff. So without any delay, let's go ahead and jump into the podcast. And I'm totally into this reflecting and resetting and building foundations for a successful new year. And so what is the goal? What would I say if I was going to tell you this new year is coming? So this podcast, you'll be listening is close to the end of the year for 2023. Yay, this is great. The next year's coming. Everybody's doing this stuff. You hear everyone's going to talk about the word of the year, all kinds of things. Okay, great, wonderful. But let's just get into the purpose or the reason behind doing things. Reflecting and resetting. What's the point? Well, the goal is to renew and revive and refuel, right? So I want to renew and I want to revive so I can refuel. And then when I'm doing that, it's going to help me also to realign so that I could re-engage. That's what I want to do. I want to renew. I want to revive. I want to refuel. I want to realign so that I can re-engage, right? So that's how I do my work week. That's how I do a day, how I end a day. I want to review myself. So and I want to reflect and reset. So I renew, I revive, I refuel, I realign so I can re-engage for the next day. I try that with everything. So we all are going to open the door, and I say this often, and the future is going to come in. So that's what we're talking about. It's the future. And I don't know anyone who doesn't want a better future. Most people won't believe for better things, even in the smallest amount, because they don't have even vision for it. Some people have gone through so much that they've lost sight. It's kind of like this. It's very hard to see the top of a mountain when your head is down. It's very hard to see horizons when you are always just looking down. And just lifting our head does a lot, even when we're just walking. So what if you lift your head just in life and you look at the bigger picture of things and what's in front of you and what's coming and begin to dream and imagine, right? So sometimes it's maybe we lack vision, sometimes it's energy, sometimes it's optimism, sometimes it's we lack the drive. It could be any number of things that can make it very difficult to not just believe, but to achieve a more ambitious future. And I want you to notice I use this word ambitious future and okay, before I get ahead. Yeah, I'm talking about achieve your future, something good. Yes, full of good things, regardless of any external situation or circumstance. That's what I mean, a future that's full of good things, regardless. Even other people's agendas. What about personal issues? Well, all the things that could really have an impact, right? Well beyond that, even well beyond the boxes that we keep ourselves in and the self-imposed limitations. So let's not even talk about other people. Let's talk about ourselves. Most of the time when I'm stuck, I realize that my foot is the one that's on the brake. It's no one else's. We get good at blaming other people, or we like to take responsibility for doing things and haphazardly making the adjustments, but not really doing anything big to correct anything, to really change anything. So yeah, there's some of that is a lot of me, and it's my frustration. May not be you, but I've done that and frustrated myself by not recognizing that everything else is not the reason for my inability to move forward. So it's not just the things I'm talking about for your future to be just a dream, but I'm talking about I'm talking about big dreams that really won't make much sense because it's not a possession or a place. That's the type of future I'm talking about. An ambitious future. That is an adjective noun, right? So it's like an ambitious future. If you're going to describe this thing, how would you describe this future? We need to be ambitious as well, though. We got to set our sights on much higher and much greater things, right? If I'm going to have an ambitious future, that's what I say that I believe for, then I need to have some of that inside of me. We need to set our sights on things that are much higher. So let me do this first. Let me give you and I'm just a literal person, so I'm going to take the word ambition and I'm going to give you a definition for ambition. And this is the noun: an earnest desire for some type of achievement or distinction. I mean, I don't know about you, but I would like an achievement or a distinction, right? Basic stuff. I'm not talking about yay you, yay me, but just like, yeah, you're worth something. Listen, I'm going to do a whole thing on this, but listen, that is the problem. You can't ask people about why, because the why it puts people on defensive most of the time. We just can't answer it because we struggle with it. But yes, achievements, because we can't define or decide that, yes, it's okay for me to have some type of achievement or distinction. Continue with the definition: as power, honor, fame, or wealth. So an earnest desire for some type of achievement or distinction as power, honor, fame, or wealth, and the willingness to strive for its attainment. See, the key is and the willingness to. Not just want it, but the willingness. So to be ambitious is having ambition, right? So possessing all of those things. Let's just be honest. Sometimes we can say people are overly ambitious, and I wonder who's the one making that comment. Why are you saying they're overly ambitious? Is it because we lack it? Are we jealous? Are we holding those things back? Are we listening to the voices of others? Are we holding other people back? What's going on? So what if we just worked on just doing this for ourselves, and we just set this example and we began to live our life out loud and be able to share us doing it a better way and celebrate other people who want big, ambitious things as well. And as they're growing and doing those things and understanding that it's okay for them to have this earnest desire for some type of achievement or distinction, as a power, honor, fame, or wealth, and a willingness to strive for it and to attain it. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, one of the reasons we lack so much confidence and courage, or we see it in young people, is because we give them too many answers to remember instead of problems to solve. We rip the grit, the resiliency, the ability for them to problem solve. We take it right away. We take the vision because we tell them there's none of this. There's no this person. There's no Easter bunny. All these things that we say, and then we just rob them of that high creativity to believe. And that's why adults, we look for safe things and call them ambitious. So here's what I'm talking about. I'm just going to give you this illustration. This is a totally made up story, but imagine in a dynamic city, there were two friends. There was Mia and Leo, and both filled with big dreams and ambition. So Mia spent her days being very meticulous and planning out everything about her future. And she had a vision board and like detailed goals and endless ambition into this thing. However, she rarely took any steps towards her dreams, preferring to stay in the safety of planning and dreaming. Now, Leo, this character, this person, on the other hand, was always on the move. He jumped at every opportunity, constantly busy with various projects and tasks, but his actions lacked focus. He was always on the go, right? Darting, moving from activity to another thing without a clear plan or purpose. Once again, coming into plans, purpose, why? Hoping something would eventually lead to success. So as time passed, Mia watched Leo's flurry of activities with a mix of admiration and concern. She would see his energy and effort, right? But also lack of direction that left him running in circles. Leo, noticing Mia's detailed plans, realized she was stuck in the planning phase, never actually taking a step forward. Eventually, they sat down. They had a cup of coffee. They said, hey, instead of just looking and watching, observing, let's meet. And they did, and they shared their frustrations. And that's when they both had this epiphany. They needed to combine their approaches. Mia's detailed planning and vision needed Leo's actions and willingness to step into the unknown. Likewise, Leo's actions needed Mia's focus and strategic thinking. Like, this is what they needed. They had to combine. Together, they embarked on a new journey. Mia started taking real steps towards her goals, guided by her plans. Leo learned to channel his energy into focused actions and align this with his ambitions. And they both realized that ambition is not just about the dreaming or the doing, but it's about doing with intention and purpose. So their story teaches us that ambition requires what? Both steps and focus. And it's about dreaming with a plan, acting with intention, and understanding that purposeful action is the key to turning ambitions into reality. This is like really what I'm doing. I'm on having this conversation on Blank Pages podcast with you because you already know some things. I know some things. Now, obviously, I'm not around you to observe them, but I'm sharing some things. And why don't you sit down with a cup of coffee with this podcast, and you take the things you know and take the things that I'm sharing that you may know if you don't know, and then you combine those and do something else, or grab someone else and take this information with them as well and equally do it. But listen, we can do it. It just takes time. It takes you believing that you want to really attain these things. It takes you having an ambitious future that's going to drive and tap you on the shoulder every single day and say, hello, I'm waiting. Are you here? Are you coming? What's happening? Are you growing? Are you developing? See, if you have ambition and are ambitious to the core, you will be determined to do the hard work. That's just the bottom line. Like, you're determined to do the hard work. Let me tell you something. People will see it through your persistence and consistency. Let me tell you right now, I have been a very, very persistent person. Where I have failed is in my consistency. Because what happens to me if I get frustrated and I see people slow down or they're not making moves and whatever, or if I see people getting into drama or making things up or something becomes whatever, listen, I'll handle it. I want to fix whatever, solve whatever, but I'm going to move on. And so because of that, that will be disruptive to me at times, and it'll make me inconsistent in other things. And so I'm changing that. Because I don't want anything in my determination to do the hard work to mess me up. So I'm going to be both persistent and consistent. But once you get an image or an impression of a thing, you can assign your ambition. I mean, literally tell it to begin the process, like a heat-seeking item, like something that can follow something, like if I don't know, it seems like how a bee can follow you. It seems when you're outside on a spring day, and it's like, is that thing like literally? Is it my color? Is my shirt yellow? Like what's happening? But it seems like there's an assignment for this thing. And if you can assign your ambition to go and harass the thing, right? And begin the process of determining what, how, when, with whom, in order to fuel your action and hard work to make it a reality. Oh man, that's going to be good. What are the benefits of being determined and doing the hard work? Well, let me give you some. Here's some benefits. Number one, you will build your courage. We need it. We need more courage. I'm not talking about brave. People get drunk, say things that are wrong, and then they end up in jails because of fights, right? That's brave. Courage is different. And I leave that up to you to go reconcile that. Persistence, what I just talked about, being persistent. And then also consistency. And I'm talking about a healthy persistence, not unhealthy. And then consistency. Being persistent about the right things, the courage to do it, be persistent with it, and then do it consistently. And then be sure to have a growth mindset, meaning you know that you can change and get better. And make sure that you have an open options mindset with it. And then lastly, it's that willingness to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Man, that's the best. So that's courage. These are some benefits of doing hard work, being determined with an ambitious future to do the hard work. You get courage from there, persistence from there, consistency. The growth mindset gets developed with open options mindset. Not just I have a growth mindset, but we can only do it this way. There are open options too. And then a willingness to continue to learn, unlearn so that you can relearn. So what would I like you to do? I want you to take some steps to make this a reality. So I'm going to give you some homework. Obviously, I gave you some things to think about, but hey, let's make an ambitious future, right? I want to give you this exercise to reflect. I want to help you identify key decisions. I want you to be able to access outcomes, analyze its impact, and then align with future goals and learn and adjust. So here we go. It's really quick, and I'll put these in the show notes too. So here's a reflection exercise focused on learning from decisions and aligning your actions with future goals, right? So here's what you do first. Number one, identify key decisions. So I'm wanting you to think about recent decisions you've made. These could be big or small, but important in some way. What are those decisions? What did you make? Right now, I want you to do, number two, is assess the outcomes. Ask yourself in reflection. You can even ask others about the outcomes of those decisions. Were they positive, negative, mixed? You need to be very honest about that. The third thing is, now I want you to analyze its impact, right? So I want you to consider how the decisions impacted your life. What did it throw off? Like, so if you knew that you splurged on something, but yet you had this goal to do something else, what adjustment are you now having to make? Even in a narrative, maybe you told someone you were going to do something, now you can't. So now you have to adjust your narrative because you lack the self-control to not splurge, right? These are real things, but they throw you off. And maybe that thing could be because of that habit you've built or that muscle or that behavior. So you splurge again, then someone comes in the future comes to you, and maybe you're an entrepreneur, you wanted to start the business, but you just spent $10,000 in another direction when all you needed was $10,000 to buy into the thing you really wanted. Analyze it. The fourth thing is alignment with future goals. So I want you to think about and reflect again on whether the decisions you're making align with the future you envision. Remember, get this ambitious future, not just a future. What is it? Define it. Do your choices support the life you want to lead and the relationships you wish to nurture? This is your blank page moment. Fill this in, guys. And then lastly, I want you to learn and adjust. I want you to take what you learn while doing a reflection time and reflection session with yourself and think about how you can apply this understanding to future decisions. What changes might you need to make? What strategies worked well? And what can you continue using, right? This is all good stuff. Identify key decisions. Number 2, assess outcomes. Number 3, analyze the impact. Number 4, alignment with your future goals. And number 5, learn and adjust. So I want to encourage you to start crafting your 2024 by creating a success narrative and the reason you are willing to bet on yourself. So you want a success narrative and why you are willing to bet on yourself. So I want you to keep this in mind. I want you to work on it. I can't wait to the next one because next we're going to launch into what 2024 can look like. And I'm going to give you just more tools to be able to put it to work for you to set yourself up for a great foundation for an amazing 2024. And it's all going to start by you doing a simple reflecting and resetting, and invite others in that you trust and know and share this information with them. So please always know you can like the show. Please share the show, subscribe to the show. Please rate and review the show. And if you're on social media, you can find me right now. The channel I'm going to be jumping into more is at Tim Pecoraro on Instagram. Just simply at Tim Pecoraro on Instagram. So looking forward till the next time we're together, which is next week. And keep getting better at being human, right? And I'd love for you to use that hashtag better at being human, and also hashtag blank pages. But be sure to do hashtag capital B, capital L, space, capital N, capital K, and then capital P, space, and then you want to go lowercase GES. Okay? Do that on purpose. I want people to fill in the blanks. So listen, see value in all the people you meet and embrace the power of others. Go out there, look at the blank pages, embrace them, and fill them up, because nothing will listen better than a blank piece of paper. Until next time.